Hi, and welcome to the Window Film Magazine podcast. I'm your host, Vinny Driscoll, and I'm excited to be joined today by Barry Atkins, the president of KMR and director of live events. Barry, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Vinny. I'm glad to be here. It's nice to have some time to talk with you.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it like out in Chicago today?
Chicago today is hot. I think kind
Mm,
of like the entire country. We did have some rain, so my grass is actually, you can probably hear it growing right now. It is,
mm.
it's a bit steamy out there.
Yeah, I think that weather is headed our way out here in the Philadelphia area. It's been really pleasant the last few days, but the heat is coming. The heat will certainly be on soon. So Barry, I'm really excited to have you here. I just want to mention that this podcast is being sponsored by KDX America, and we're thankful for that. So Barry, can you give us a little bit of an introduction, who you are, your background with KMR?
Sure. I actually started working with KMR about 5 years ago, coming up on six this fall. Really enjoyed it. I started working in the sales department for the shows, for the live events. So doing sales for WFCT and Autoglass Week, and then our other regional programs as well. And then got a little bit more involved in a variety of different things. We have a great group, so it's a little bit of, many hands make light work. So we did a lot of kind of collaborating on a variety of things. There's a lot that goes into every show, and it's not just a matter of selling booths for companies, which is a large part of it, because they are the real drivers. They support the industry, so we certainly need them to make that happen. But we
Yes.
feel like we provide a lot of benefits through the show, a lot of collaboration, a lot of being able to business network. Obviously, the trade show floor, it's a big deal. Companies can come and show off all of their products and make sure that they have their competitors in the show as well, because your competitors make a large part of our shows are the competitions.
Hmm.
To have the ability for those competitors to use your film, your products, your wraps, your PPF in the show is a big deal, because
Sure.
and it elevates the professionalism that they actually bring to the show as well, the
Right.
competitors.
So, how long have you been in the industry, approximately?
Really, not that long. I was in sales prior to that. I've done a lot of different things. It's funny when you hear people say, I've been in the industry for 20, 25, 30 years. Not so much with me. And then there's a lot of young folks who are just getting into tinting and see that as a career path. I think it's amazing that some folks have been in for that long, because obviously it's appealed to a couple of things. Number one, that they've made money doing it, but number two, that
Sure.
they've actually gotten better at doing it, and there's still a need for it. So it's a little bit of a surprise that I hadn't really noticed this industry as much
Hmm.
before, but it's been around forever. So I kind of
Yep.
feel like I walk through a door, and then all of a sudden there's all of this that I hadn't recognized before. A lot of great people in the industry. They make you feel very welcome. So it's a good group to trip into. That's for sure.
Definitely. I'm the same way. I wasn't aware of how big the industry was until I joined it. Same with the last industry I was in. You kind of, almost like fall backwards into something, and you're like, oh my God, you get in there and you're like, you're shocked at how big these industries are. And like you said, it's a very tight knit industry. There's a lot of people doing a lot of great things here, and the longevity is amazing. I met a lot of people who have, over 20, 25, 30, even 40 plus years in this industry, and it's just a testament to the dedication and the opportunities that this industry offers. There's certainly a lot of opportunity there.
it, it's it is surprising as well how it evolves, because
Hmm.
you could say, well, window film. I mean, it's window film. No, I mean, if you've actually ever visited
Hmm.
a manufacturing plant, or talked with someone technically about what goes into it, it is amazing. The machines that they use to put this stuff together. Um, Again, you're exactly right. You think, how are there so many people interested in this stuff? It's similar to trade shows, right? There's a trade show for virtually everything in the world,
Sure.
and that's why we feel honored to be able to put on a trade show that's so well respected, and that a lot of folks are coming to, as far as seeing what's out there, as well as companies who continually support and make sure that they are at the forefront of awareness for this
Yep.
industry as well.
And the reason I wanted to, talk to you today was because of WFCT. We're going to be talking about the
Mhm.
trade show today. It's just about 6 weeks out, if you can believe it. It seems like the year just started, and now we're already talking about being 6 weeks out from
Yeah.
WFCT in September 9th to the 11th. So I wanted to kind of get you on this podcast today and talk about all the exciting things that are waiting, exhibitors, attendees, for next or in 6 weeks. It's not next month's show, but it's close to
Right,
being next month's show.
right.
So let's start. Let's talk about some of the fun things. For instance, the '90s party. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We are actually quite excited about this because it's going to be a party that is just the party. It's a kickoff party to the show. So the show starts on, as you mentioned, it's the September 9 to 11. The 9th is a Tuesday. On Monday night, the night before the show starts, you need to come to the 90s party that we're going to have. That's sponsored by KDX. They are making sure that we are going to have plenty of food and drink and excitement at the show. We're going to have entertainment. And in fact, as these details get hammered out and we're solidified, I'm not going to tell you everything that's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you one of the things we're going to have is going to be a lip sync contest on the
Mm,
stage. Now, that doesn't mean it could mean just you, Vinny. You could get up there and lip sync a song. That's totally fine. But what I'm actually asking for is for companies to come, maybe have three, four, five people from their company come up on stage as a band and do a lip sync contest to their favorite 90s songs. So we can ask our listeners for a couple of things today. I see Marion is on there already. Good morning, Marion. Nice to hear you. See you.
yeah,
The
Marion says,
idea
"Good
of
morning, gents." She's
lovely.
watching and she's wishing us good morning.
I appreciate that. Um, the, we want to have a company say, yeah, I'm going to have a team up there. We're going to have a group up there. You can name them whatever you want. I'm sure there's going to be some excellent names that come out of it. But I'd like to challenge some groups to say, yeah, we're going to have a team up there to sing a song, or even suggest to us songs that you might want lip sync. But you're going to have to be you're going to have to. You can't just suggest. You got to actually show up and do it. We're going to have a group up there. I don't know that I'll be on front singing, but I will be on stage. I promise that. So, also, I mean, that's one thing. Okay. And we can have some comments about
Sure.
that. But the second thing I want to say is that we're going to have a flyest fit
Mm,
contest. Now, that means, in the 90s was a while ago. I still remember them. Some of the people who are working in the industry probably go, yeah, I was like 1 year old or something like
mm.
that, because we do have a span there.
Those
But
youngins, yeah.
those youngins who don't know what they don't know. So they need to go Google what was going on in the 90s, find out what the hit list was as far as the top songs, and then come as the Spice Girls, come as the Backstreet Boys, come as somebody that that resonated with you. Bring your party in the back with your mullet if you got that going on. So I
Yeah,
think it could be really fun.
yeah, I think the '90s is, it's a decade that kind of spanned a lot of different genres. We had, we started the '90s, and I could speak to this well because I was in college in the '90s. These were my years. So the '90s, you kind of came in with MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. You were on the tail end of like the hip hop craze of the late '80s, and then you
Yeah,
kind of transitioned into like a grungy,
yeah,
Nirvana like type of music. So it went from sort of like baggy pants, almost like parachute pants, to now you're wearing flannels, and the grunge movement came on, and then towards the end of the '90s, you had more of a pop movement going on. So it kind of runs the gamut as how you can dress for this thing,
yeah.
and the songs that you can sing. I always think like because I've done this in the past. I've done karaoke, and one of my go tos is Vanilla Ice. So I'm not a big fan of getting up in there and doing it, but if I have to, that would probably be my go-to. What about you, Barry? What would you sing?
This is the best part, is that you don't have to actually sing it. You can lip
Right,
sync
you
it.
can lip sync
So,
it.
so someone else can sound good, and all you got to do is stand up there. Um, I gotta tell you, I'm not sure. I really dig some of the Spice Girls songs, but I don't think I'd look good as a Spice Girl. So
Well,
there, sometimes you gotta kind of stay in your lane a little bit. But this
yeah,
is an opportunity to. You want to be somebody else tonight? This is the night to do it. It's going to be
yep,
fun to be there, and the really the re excuse me, the reason we're having the 90s party is because we're celebrating this year 30 years of WFCT having events. And then also on the autoglass side, we're celebrating 25 years on that side as well. So
sure,
it is a celebratory year, year this year for us to celebrate what's been going on in the industry. And it speaks to the longevity that we were talking about just a
sure,
little bit ago. It's been going on a long time. I mean, the competitions
yeah,
that we've had. So in some sense, just relax, sit back, enjoy thinking back on that time. Maybe you come as whatever you had going on, and when you started your industry, if you started that long ago, if you were a tinter back then,
yeah.
and I mean, it's okay to come looking like a tinter from 30 years ago too. So
That's true.
we don't have a lot of rules in place on this one,
Yeah,
but we do want you to come with some creativity. And I'll tell you what, everyone's getting in. Nobody's going to be kept out because your outfit isn't good enough or anything like that. No, we're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah. I'm gonna have my flannels ready. Marion says I'm going to have major FOMO. Marion, I'm so sad that you're not going to be there this
Oh,
year.
no.
But she says that she knows that Allison, Parker, and Jan are so looking forward to the 90s party. I can't wait to see what they're going to have to show off. So they're already planning. It's good to know. The
Yeah,
90s party, yep. And it's sponsored by KDX,
it is
correct?
sponsored by KDX, yes, and we work in partnership with them, event management, to put on quite a show. It's actually going to be at the Atlantis, so you don't have to think, oh, where are we going to go to that party?
Right.
So you check in, you get on your flight, make sure you're there Monday, afternoon or even before. Um, Marion, I wish you could. The idea of uh, maybe we'll get someone to walk around, just with a live stream for you,
Yeah,
Marion. That
Marion, at
that
least
would
if
be
you can
amazing.
attend person, we might live stream it for you, Marion. If there's enough demand for that, we could do it.
Right, right, exactly. There will be some things you won't want to miss,
Yeah.
but I was going to say, make sure you get in on Monday
Monday night.
in
Yeah.
time
On
for it.
Monday.
It'll
Yeah.
start at I believe 7 o'clock. So uh, the lineup will start probably before that, and you're going to be in Atlantis Casino Hotel there. You're not going to look out of place at all because you
Yeah.
see all kinds of people in the casino. So
Yeah.
it'll be a fun vibe, that's for sure.
Some people in casinos have not evolved from the 90s, so you probably fit right in there. Um, so I wanted to kind of talk about, yeah, so Marion says, I'll send a 90s TikTok, LOL. So we're looking forward to that, Marion.
Excellent.
So let's talk about the keynote with Tommy Silva.
So there's a lot of people that know Tommy Silva.
Hmm.
We actually inducted him into the Winter Film Hall of Fame
Yep.
last year. Amazing story. For those who don't know, I mean, he started tinting, I think, when he was 17 years old.
Yep.
I don't know all of this from what I've read, and I've talked to Tommy a couple of times. He is such a down to earth person. You would not think that he has a company that he grew in Hawaii,
Yep.
started there tinting. There's a lot of his story that we're going to cover when he is the keynote, and that's going to be part of the presentation as well. The thing that is so interesting is that he started it, doing it, turned it into a company, grew that to the point where, and we're talking about years, and we're talking about a lot of steps in the process, but he got to a point where he actually ended up selling his company to his employees
Yep.
as in his retirement. And he is just, and now in the past few years, he has been retiring or in the process of retiring, and good for him. He's been able to do
Hmm.
that. But this is really one of those success stories that you would say, I think I should copy what he did,
Sure.
because a lot
Sure.
of guys are like, okay, I can do the work. Okay, I can hire some guys. But then there's a whole trajectory of how your business needs to go.
Yep.
It seems like he can, whether or not he did everything perfectly, and I'm sure he would say there were some challenges in there, he did it in a way that got him to an end that you want to shoot for. So
Sure.
uh, the fact that he's going to be our keynote, and it resonates with, from the start to the end of kind of how you want to do your business,
Hmm.
he's going to have so much good information to convey. Is it going to be exactly what you're going through? Probably not, but you're going to pull out of there how he did it,
Sure.
how you can address those things too. So I'm excited. I'm not even a tinter, but I'm very excited to hear what
Yeah.
he has to say because I feel like from a business perspective, he's going to have a lot of good information to share.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I'm going to interview him at the keynote, and I've learned a lot about Tommy in the last week or so, and he's got a really great story to share.
Yeah,
The challenges that he faced when he first started his business. We'll get into that at the keynote. And it's pretty fascinating how he has evolved over these nearly 50 years of tinting. He's grown his business from very small to multiple locations and lots of employees. So he's a great story, and I'm looking forward to talking to him uh, at WFCT in September. Again, I'm talking to Barry Atkins from WFCT, and we are going through the show. We're touching base on some of the things that stand out from the show. We talked about the '90s party, Tommy Silva. Can you tell me a little bit more about the learning labs, what they are, and why people should be attending them?
sure. I also want to say hi to George. I hope you're doing well, George. I haven't
Oh,
heard
hey,
more about
George.
you lately, but I'm
What's
glad
up,
you're.
George?
So, Learning Lab. So,
Hmm.
if you've ever been to our show before, you know that we have educational seminars that are going on. They're usually not on the show floor, they are in the mornings before the show.
Hmm.
And they're in similar rooms that are going to be right there in the convention center or the hotel or the convention center, excuse me.
Right.
Um, the Learning Lab is something that we implemented not too many years ago. And we felt like this is a great opportunity to, while you are on the show floor, and it's really a benefit to those who maybe didn't buy the ticket that gets them into the educational seminars.
Sure.
We wanted to make sure that they weren't missing out on some crucial things that people really want to hear. So the Learning Lab is a space on the show floor where we will have several events, several speakers, excuse me, speaking on a variety of topics. Some of these are going to be very practical, like how to run your business. Maybe it's marketing based. Maybe
Sure.
it's how to get better traffic on your websites. Then there's going to be some very practical things like how do you apply a certain film, or what's the difference between this film and that film, what's better. We have a track that I think the IWFA is putting on. They're going to be talking about a variety of topics as
Hmm.
well, and one within the umbrella of either theirs or ours is going to be skin cancer,
Okay.
and the fact that we're trying to prevent skin cancer.
Yeah.
Well, tinting helps that. So
Yep.
many times you think tinting a car is just to make it darker, period, end of story. There's a variety of reasons as to
Hmm.
why people would want to do that. And you want to be able to articulate that to somebody. It's a selling point, frankly. If they're
Sure.
like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. Well, I don't know. Do you think, preventing skin cancer is worth it? And of course, the answer to that is yes. But um, you want to also be able to understand and say why that is.
Sure.
Frankly, it's good for tinters to know that too,
Yeah.
because they a lot of times are traveling to go places, and they should have tint on their own cars.
Hmm.
Make sure you're taking care of yourself as well.
Yeah. And from I've had five skin cancers, and coming into this industry, it didn't dawn on me that this industry is also preventative in terms of reducing skin cancer. So that's a benefit. And you know what? I've been in this industry for approximately a year, but I was in another industry for 17 years, and we did a lot of events, a lot of trade shows. And the one thing that I always tell attendees, do not pass up on the education. The education is so it's so valuable, and a lot of people
Mhm,
kind of overlook it.
mhm,
The labs, the
mhm.
but if you're an attendee and you have the time, take the time and find a session. You're gonna help you know understand a little bit more about the industry, and it's going to be better for yourself and also for your employees if you have them. So I mean, I really believe in the power of education, and I'm gonna hope if I have some time at the show, I'm gonna try to attend some.
I look at our education list and I realize I got a problem because I want to be in like all of them to learn. The fact of the matter is you can't because there's different things going on at the time. So you do have to do some
Sure.
picking and choosing. I
Right.
wanted to talk a little bit about the logistics of that though too. So some people have signed up and they said, "Oh, I'm just going to come to the trade show floor. That's how I signed up. I got my ticket. It's all done." You can still upgrade. I mean, I
Mhm.
challenge you to go through the education list. Go online, WFCT event.com. Go on there, find the education tab, go down and read what's going on. And here's the thing. If you think about, I mean, we're talking about some attendees who may not be to the level of having their own shop or whatnot.
Right.
But for those of you who are in the industry, make sure you're getting educated. There are company experts that we have who are sponsors at the show, and they're providing their expertise in some of these educational seminars. But they're also covering things that you're not going to hear anywhere else,
Right.
frankly. I
Right.
mean, you would think, oh, I'll just go Google that. Maybe, but maybe you won't have the opportunity to ask someone a specific detail that's going to be helpful to you, or how do I implement that in my actual
Hmm.
situation. So I challenge you to go look at the education, make sure that you're attending the things you need to. This benefits your business. If you think about the fact we were just talking about for skin cancer, if you think about the fact that, oh, I could reach another 5% of the or 10% of the people coming in, and that would add to my sales, isn't it
Sure.
going to be worth the ticket price to go see all these things?
Definitely.
Or you need to think like a business person in that regard,
Hmm.
and this is how I can invest in my business, invest in myself. I'm going to get the information I need, and then you're going to be able to talk to all those vendors on the show floor,
Hmm.
saying which one of you have the best option for me. It and I'm not going to say too much about it being a win-win, but it does fit that category. I'll say.
Hmm. Yes, and I mean you bring up a great point there. And of all the shows I've been to in my life, the one thing I've noticed at an event or a trade show, everyone is there to help each other. You kind of look at it from a competitor standpoint, but you know what? Everyone seems to be, excited to just to be there in person, seeing all their, colleagues, seeing competitors, and just sharing information, trying to help each other succeed. Because when everyone succeeds, the industry benefits from that. So just being at a trade show, taking it all in, doing the education shops, you're going to come out of it after 3 days. You're gonna be a more well-rounded window film professional. I guarantee that.
I will say I agree with that, and I also say that um, you you and I are not tinters, but we can go
Mhm.
up and talk with tinters and have a common interest into what they do, and they include you in what they're talking about. They include
Sure.
because they are very open about that. They are very supportive of, if you want to say it, competitors, but a lot of people are coming from across the country, so you're not really
Right.
competing with someone in your hometown. But
Right.
I've also heard great stories about people who are collaborative even in their own hometown,
Hmm.
because maybe they can't take all the business at one time, so they'll send them over to the guy next door who they are friends with. They will,
Right.
they'll share stories with, they'll certainly share techniques with. That's part of what you see in the competition specifically. I got to believe that half of the competitors are watching about how the other guys do a certain
Sure.
corner or a specific spot on that. Ooh, that
Yep.
brings up something else too. I want to talk about that.
Sure.
Can,
Go
can I
for it.
can I go?
Yeah.
So one of the competitions we have is the architectural film competition.
Hmm.
For those of you who've been in it before, you know exactly what those frames look like. You do not know what they're going to look like coming out this year. So we've
Hmm.
made some changes to that. Um, Sarah is very excited about that. But I would also say you guys are going to be challenged, guys and gals are going to be
Hmm.
challenged beyond what you've thought in the past. There are some different shapes involved. There's probably going to be a little different format as far as what you're asked to do.
Mm.
I leave that as a tease, but the architectural competitions are going to be different this year. You're going to be challenged to do a little bit more than before, and we'll see how well that works, how good that is. So make sure you're good at figuring out the angles. I'll
So
just
you're throwing a curveball this year to the
I'm throwing a
architectural
curve. It's not
people.
actually a curve. It's more of an angle. But yes, it's going to be interesting. So
Nice.
I think
Nice.
I think those who like a challenge are going to love it. Those who
Okay.
don't like a challenge are going to be challenged by it. So
There you go.
it's gonna you're gonna have to earn that additional prize money. That's another thing. We raised the prize money winnings this year as well. So is it worth it? It's the person who wins is definitely going to think it's worth it.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
so make sure that you're looking at that as well.
Awesome. All right, Barry. So tell me a little bit about the celebration of champions.
So this is another thing we put in this year, and we wanted to make sure that we kind of paid homage to the folks who have done this before and have been champions. So we have invited those who have been past champions, and those who are able to come. We're going to make sure that there is a celebration of those champions. They're
Mm,
going to be escorted on the show floor. They're going to be part of a parade going around to the main stage where we're going to actually go down the list of those who have competed and won in the past. And it is, many times people compete. Maybe they do it for the money. Maybe they do it just
mm.
for the challenge of it. A lot of times they're not celebrated long enough, right? So I won this year, but now I'm thinking about next year. So we want to make sure that we pay appropriate credit to those who have done well in the past, celebrate them from the perspective of, you know what? You were up here as the winner one time, or the top place winners in a certain year. We want to look back on that and celebrate that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually going to be emceeing that portion of it, and we're going to make sure that those folks feel celebrated. I think if you're on the show floor at that time, make sure you follow them around and come to the main stage so we can give them the appropriate credit that they deserve.
I think that's a great idea. I
And
think that's, like you said, they win, and then they're already looking ahead to next year, or they're past their victory. Now this is a way that WFCT can honor them for their past accomplishments, and I think it's just a really nice hat tip, so to speak, to those who have really kind of stepped up and showed off their skills in the
Mhm.
competitions and taken home a prize. So that's a really really cool thing, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the Hall of Fame luncheon. And I'm excited for this as well because we have two new inductees, which is no longer a surprise. We introduced them last week. Jeffrey Plummer from Matico and Matthew D'Arienzo from American Window Film.
Mhm.
I'm going to
Mhm.
be interviewing both of them as well. So tell me a little bit about the luncheon. How does that work?
So we have this luncheon every year. Many times people are like, "Well, I don't know the person in there," or I didn't think of that in time. Too bad I didn't sign up for it." You can sign up for it. You can come. You can still sign up for that. Go on WFCTevent.com and just scroll through until you find the area where you can sign up for that. You can still add those tickets to come to the luncheon. It is a good time to come. I mean, you have a sit down meal. You're going to be able to hear those two individuals speak. There's the reason they're in the Hall of Fame, and again, this is what we did with Tommy Silva last year. The reason you're in the Hall of Fame is because of a lifetime or a dedicated portion of your life in the industry. They have things you're probably going to want to hear,
Sure.
and their stories are certainly worthwhile to maybe you can't duplicate, but everything in life is a little bit about avoiding mistakes and moving forward in your own
Yep.
life. So I'm sure that their life experiences will be of benefit to you. And if you know both of them personally, and you're thinking, I didn't know what was going on, make sure you sign up. Make sure you get a ticket for that, and then we can include you.
Yep. Yep. And they both have really great stories as well. A lot of experience. Obviously, if you're going to be inducted into Hall of Fame, uh, I'm sure you've got a lot of experience and a lot of
Mhm.
longevity. And both of them have great stories as well. And I'm looking forward to talking to both of them during the luncheon. So that is also taking place September 9th to 11th. Now, Barry, I got to ask you, if someone's interested in buying tickets, how do they do so?
You need to go to WFCTevent.com. You can come in as an attendee. And certainly, I would suggest being a full attendee so you get the full experience. You're going to be part of the business networking, obviously, on the additional events. You need to be at the your only requirement for like the 90s party and some of those events is your badge. So a
Mhm.
full attendee badge will get you into that. Just make sure you get there in time to get that all sorted out, but everything is on the website. I could try to drill down for that for everyone. I'm not going to be as good as telling you exactly what you need to know as go to WFCTevent.com. and then just follow the prompts or the drop downs as you need to getting there. Competitors, I know we closed down. Our official closing date for competitors was the 23rd, which was 2 days ago.
Hmm.
So many people are now going, I should have done that. I didn't realize, or whatever. Well, here's the thing. Um, if there are slots open, we can probably still get you in.
Okay.
If there are not slots open, we can put you on a wait list. Many times things it's only 6 weeks away, but many times things happen in 6 weeks where maybe a competitor above
Sure.
you on the list couldn't make it. We want to make sure that we can get you in, especially if this is the first time you're hearing about the additional prize money or the challenge of some of these events. Make sure you try. If we can help you, we will. I mean,
Hmm.
we put those deadlines in place because it is important. We are trying to run this professionally, which means we need time to sort it out and make sure we communicate with everybody. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So
Sure.
don't ever feel like, oh, no, those guys are trying to keep me out. That is not the case at all. In fact, our team is so good at trying to accommodate folks that many times it ties us in knots because we do want to make sure we get everybody in who can or wants to be there. So please know, especially in my working with my team, I know that they have the best interests for you people in mind. So they are very helpful in any way we can be. I'm bragging on them a little bit, but
Yeah.
they are certainly wonderful. Uh, but to that end, we want to make sure that it's a good experience for everyone who wants to come to the show too. So, and I would say this also, even for anyone who still wants to come in as an exhibitor, there's time to do that too. Uh, Believe me, you can still get a booth on the show floor. You can contact me directly, batkins@glass.com, or just get a hold of somebody and we can make sure and get you in there. You can also do all that right online as well. For everyone who is signed up as an exhibitor, all their supplies can be used in the show. So you're going to see people using the brands that are listed on our website. And if you're a competitor and said, that's my brand, as long as they're listed as an exhibitor, you can certainly use their film. And we look forward to that being a big deal for everyone who wants to compete.
Well, that was a mouthful, Barry. You've certainly
I know.
covered a lot in 30 minutes. And again, if you want to reach out to Barry, it's batkins@glass.com. Anything else to add? I know that it's this year it's in Reno. I've never been to Reno. What's Reno like?
Okay, we did a scout trip to Reno. I got to tell you, pleasantly surprised at everything there is to do. Have you ever heard of Lake Tahoe? Because Lake Tahoe is like 40
It's not
minutes
far, right?
to the
Yeah.
south. Yeah. So if you come in, you do the show early in the week and you got the weekend. I mean, I guess that's the good news about having a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday show. You got
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday to do something fun. So Virginia City is not far away if you like the Old West experience. Reno itself is actually interesting, kind of a different vibe to it. I mean, we're staying in a casino hotel. Okay, that's
Hmm.
one end of the spectrum. And then they have a midtown area that has a little bit more bougie type of
Okay.
restaurants, different eating experiences. And then they have a university kind of side of town.
Okay.
To the north of that, they have an entire street that has some beer breweries on it. So
Okay.
depending on what you want to do, there's a lot to do. And yeah, I mean, take a look at that. We have some of that material interested the options for different things on our
Sure.
website too. We certainly sent out an attendee brochure to a lot of folks. If you have
Hmm.
that, it lists all those things on there as well.
Yep.
Reno is, I mean, the airport is not far from the convention center. The convention center is not swamped like it is in Vegas and some other places. So
Right.
it's a good vibe there, and it's going to be an enjoyable show. I do want to say this: if you're signing up and you're going, oh, I can't get into the Atlantis Hotel. I think that room block has closed, but we have two new room blocks, or two different overflow hotels that are out there. I'm going to have to pull something up so I can tell you exactly what it is. But go ahead and ask me another question while
No,
I.
I mean I'm really looking forward to Reno. I've heard a lot of people say nothing but great things about it. I've been to Orlando a million times. I've been to Vegas, so this is going to be a new experience for me as well.
Yeah.
And if you're talking like they got some old west, old timey feel to it, I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, yeah, it is going to be fun, and wear your cowboy boots, but then also wear your grunge outfit. I mean,
There you
the
go.
flannel shirt goes with that, no problem.
I'm gonna
Um,
have to have a lot of outfits for this show.
yes, you're gonna need the full checked bag,
Yeah,
Vinny. You got to bring the whole thing. The two other airports I just want, or I'm sorry, the two other hotels. One is the Hyatt Place Reno Tahoe
hmm
Airport, so it's the Hyatt at the airport, and the other one is the Homewood Suites in Reno.
Hmm.
So that's where I would direct you if you do want to sign up and have a hotel room. We've already talked to them, so they're prepared for you. But all of this is actually going to be online as well at our website. It's a great thing about having the internet. Send people
hmm
one spot, they get all the information there. So,
Yeah,
but we also, if you have questions, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Vinny as well. There's going
sure.
to be a lot going on. So, yeah, we have to George's point. We have been to Reno in the past. I think Reno
hmm
has probably changed a bit. That was probably 10 years ago we were there, but
Mm.
you are Reno is actually surprisingly fun. I have a friend who lives out there, and I was like, how did you get here? And he says, we love it. It's beautiful. He
Hmm.
also he also likes to shoot, so there's that option for
Okay.
folks as well. If
A lot of open space out there,
if
I'm
that
sure.
rings your bell, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good options.
Yep. Well, Barry, thank you for your time today. This has been great. A lot of information here about WFCT in 6 weeks. We'll have the archive of this show certainly posted on our Facebook page. We'll also have it on YouTube. We'll have it in SoundCloud and all in Apple podcasts. So we're gonna get this out there. We're happy to help you. So any questions, again, reach out to me. Post a comment here. Reach out to Barry at batkins@glass.com, or just check out WFCTevent.com for all the information. Barry, thank you for joining me today.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Vinny.
All right. For Barry, I'm Vinny. We'll see you next time on the Window Film Magazine podcast. Have a great weekend, everyone. Awesome.